I stared at the weapon in front of me and liked it more the longer I looked. So without a second thought, I pulled it out in one go for easier carrying. I simply tied it to my waist and used it as a firewood stick. But I didn't expect the sect saintess to go pale when she saw it, because that wasn't just any stick. It was a divine needle weighing 13,000 pounds. For 1,000 years, the sect had never moved it an inch, but I had no idea just how powerful I really was. Because in this world where the Dantian is everything, I was born without one, unable to cultivate, only good for being beaten like a sandbag. After years of humiliation, I finally lost it and smashed a nearby rock with my fist. At that same moment on the mountaintop, the sect saintess was surrounded by the demon sect. She was badly injured. The sect was on the brink of destruction, but that rock I hit flew straight at the enemy. Everyone was stunned. The saintess instantly sensed the person behind it was no ordinary man. If she could find me, maybe the sect could rise again. So she sent people out to search. Meanwhile, I was heading to the disciple selection with my brothers. We hoped to change our fates through this chance. But on the way, we ran into the senior brother who always beat us up. He sneered as he walked over, said useless trash like us without Dantians had no right to compete for the only spot. Before he even finished, he grabbed my brother and started beating him. Watching my brother's face covered in blood, I couldn't hold it in anymore. I roared and charged forward, but my punch was blocked by the sect's grand elder. What shocked everyone was that his arm cracked from the impact. The elder instantly realized something was wrong. He looked at me with a complicated expression, and when I asked to join the competition, he agreed without hesitation. But this angered senior brother. He ran straight to the saintess to report me. Said I attacked a fellow disciple and broke sect rules. The saintess gave a cold glance. Said someone like me didn't even deserve pity and death. But little did she know, she would soon pay dearly for those words. The grand elder still felt uneasy. He remembered 400 years ago, a martial arts god wiped out 1,000,000 demons, using only his body and a divine weapon. That legendary figure was called a body cultivator. He had a strong hunch that I might be his successor. Soon it was time for disciples to choose weapons. There was one divine artifact in the armory. No one had moved it since the sect was founded. Senior brother thought highly of himself. He stepped up and used all his strength. His face turned bright red, but the weapon didn't budge at all. Frustrated and humiliated, he stormed off. Not long after I entered the armory too. Saw the dusty firewood stick. Something stirred in me. I reached out and gave it a tug. All 4 ceiling chains snapped at once. The entire sect began to shake. The saintess sensed the artifact awakening and rushed over with her people. I heard the noise, quickly bent the stick, and tied it around my waist like a belt. The saintess stormed into the armory, saw the chaos inside, and thought the one who did this must be the master who saved her. Soon the competition began. The first round tested inner power. Each disciple had to inflate a balloon with their energy. The bigger the balloon, the stronger the power. The first inner disciple gave it his all, and the balloon only grew to a foot wide. Everyone nodded in approval. Then it was my turn. The crowd burst into laughter, mocking me for being Dantianless, yet daring to show my face. I just took a deep breath, then spun around and stirred up a fierce gust. The balloon exploded instantly, but the judge announced coldly that I was disqualified. Said I cheated with tricks. The second round began. It was a fire control trial. Disciples had to ignite a distant pile of wood. They gave it their best, and barely passed. When it was my turn, I pulled out a bamboo dragonfly. Everyone laughed again, thinking I was just fooling around. But as it spun at full speed, I released it gently. A violent wind roared, and in the next second the fire pit burst into flames.